I didn't raise my voice. I didn't beg. I didn't run after her when she quietly said, "I don't feel the spark anymore." I just met her eyes, gave the faintest nod, and turned around. Not because my love for her had faded, but because I was exhausted from constantly trying to prove I was worth holding on to. Before I continue, let me say this. If you've ever been left by someone you gave everything to, you're not alone. My name is Caleb. I spent 5 years with Leia. She was spontaneous, full of wild energy and impulsive dreams, while I was the calm routine, the quiet moments, the dependable rhythm. I used to think we balanced each other, that we made sense. We had our little rituals, slow Sunday mornings over coffee, late-night snack runs, and that ridiculous show we pretended to hate but couldn't stop watching. But as we entered our 5th year, something shifted. The signs were subtle at first. Her phone began living face down. Her replies came slower, colder. When I asked about her day, she dodged with vague answers or silence. She hadn't cheated physically, not that I know of, but emotionally, she was already slipping away. One evening, as we sat across from each other at the small kitchen table that had seen years of shared meals and laughter, she spoke softly. "Caleb, I feel stuck. I'm not happy anymore." There were no tears, no dramatic confessions, just a calm certainty, like love had been a season that had passed for her. I didn't ask her to reconsider. I didn't beg her to remember the memories we'd created or remind her of all the ways I chose her, even when it hurt. I simply replied, "All right." The next morning she packed her things. She took our photo albums, the perfume she always wore, even that chipped mug we both fought over. I stood by the door, silent, as she walked out. No goodbye. No glance over her shoulder. The days that followed were drenched in silence. Not the comforting quiet I once cherished, but the kind that presses down on your chest and makes it hard to breathe. I did what needed to be done, went to work, ate, tried to sleep, but I wasn't really living. Just enduring. Friends told me they admired how well I handled it. "Man, you were strong," they said. They didn't see me break at 3 a.m. They didn't know I still had her contacts saved, hoping for a message that never came. I'd freeze whenever her favorite song played, like the lyrics might somehow bring her back. I didn't block her. Didn't try to get her attention online. Didn't post vague quotes hoping she'd see and feel something. I stayed quiet, even when her new relationship popped up on social media 2 months later. She looked radiant, happier than she ever did with me. Mutual friends shared that she said I was too predictable, too calm, that she craved adventure. Her words stung more than I expected, but I didn't react. Why fight for someone who's already moved on? Time passed, and I slowly began to rebuild myself. I started working out, picked up books I'd always meant to read, learned how to cook meals instead of living off takeout. I even repainted a room she'd once called boring. Not because I hoped she'd come back, but because I needed to find myself again. Still, deep down, a part of me hadn't completely let her go. Then, exactly a year later, almost to the minute, a message appeared on my screen. "Hey, can we talk?" My heart stuttered as I stared at it, unsure if I was dreaming. My fingers hovered, then typed, "Sure." 10 minutes later, my phone rang. Her name lit up the screen like a memory I'd buried but never erased. Her voice trembled. "Hi, Caleb. I hope I'm not disturbing you." "You're not," I replied. There was a long pause, the kind that comes when someone's holding back something they're afraid might sound selfish. She finally spoke again. "I saw a picture of you at a friend's party. You looked different, stronger, happier." I didn't say anything. She exhaled, then continued. "I didn't just call to check in. I called because I owe you an apology." Another pause. Then she confessed, "I made a huge mistake. I thought walking away would lead me to something more thrilling, something exciting. But all I found was emptiness. Surface-level conversations. Shallow relationships. No depth, no real connection." Still, I didn't speak. I let her words settle in the space between us. "You weren't boring," she said. "You were my calm in the chaos. My anchor. And I left that behind chasing a fantasy." Then came the blow I wasn't expecting. Letting you go was the worst decision of my life. But what came next might surprise you. It surprised me. I didn't ask her to return. I didn't say I'd been waiting. I told her, I forgive you, Leah. But I'm not the man you walked away from. She fell quiet. I continued, I've grown without you. I've created a life where my peace and joy don't depend on whether you choose to stay. Her voice cracked. I still love you. I believe you, I said gently. But love on its own isn't enough anymore. Not after the silence. Not after feeling like I wasn't enough for you. My words weren't cold. They were honest. She asked, Is there any chance for us? I thought about all those lonely nights, questioning my worth because of what she said. I remembered the person I became through the pain, the healing, the growth. There might have been, I said slowly, but not anymore. You taught me how it feels to be abandoned. That's not something I can forget. She cried quietly, and then she whispered goodbye. But this time I didn't look back. I moved forward. Not all stories are meant to be rewritten. Sometimes closure is realizing the one who broke you finally understands what they lost, but it no longer shakes your world. I stayed silent when she left, not because I was broken, but because I discovered a strength strong enough to release her. A year later, when she called me her biggest regret, I didn't take her back because I no longer was one. And if you're reading this, still picking up the pieces of a heart someone left behind, remember this. You don't have to chase what turned its back on you. Sometimes the loudest response is saying nothing at all.